from my basement. It's Sunday night.
Well, welcome
Are we
everybody.
Live now?
We're here.
Hello, everyone.
We've survived.
Welcome, everyone in the live chat. I've been saying hi to people as they come in. Oh, sorry. I ruined this for you. I'm sorry.
You make it real hard. You really do. You really spend a great deal of effort just trying to make things more difficult for me.
I haven't even put makeup on my face.
Nor should you. You're beautiful.
In months. And I am happy about it. I am so happy about it. Well, everyone in the live chat, let us know you're there and tell us where you're watching from. I see Tana, and I see Tracy, and I see Roberta. Hello, everyone in the live chat. We have a fun show for you this evening as we trickle in live. We have a YouTuber inspiration this evening. I know I typically do Instagram inspiration, but this person that I'm going to share with you, it's a good pick. So we're going to go with it. I mean,
so much you were stammering.
Huh?
So much you were stammering.
Well, it's not, you'll see. It's different. And so, like, I'll explain it when I reveal the person.
Fair enough.
But that's why, because it's really different. But it's okay. I also have Lisa in my craft room. You can't see her yet, but I'll bring her over
she's waving like she's giving the signal.
When it's time. I'll bring Lisa over. And we also have a discussion question, and this week's discussion question is from me. Not because I didn't want to pick a different one, but because it's an important one.
It's one of the better ones.
So that's the discussion question this evening. And that's it. It's nothing too major. It's really chill today. Really chill. Anything else that you wanted to add today?
The only thing that I really want to add is that a heartfelt apology to everybody from the last live. I can't run the board and do the thing. Okay, so when everybody wanted to see what I was doing,
and catch the ball at the same time.
I'm back. I'm back where I belong. It's all right. We're all good. So we're good.
If anyone knows where that is from, I dare you. Hello, everyone. I see Geraldine. I see Karen. I see Dora. Deborah. Hello, everyone. Roberta's saying hi, Lisa. Okay, good. So let's what time is it?
It's 8:04.
Oh, good. Well, we're a little bit ahead of time because I don't have as much to share with you. Mostly because I don't have any news because I've been avoiding social media, so I don't really know what's going on.
No, that's good.
Yeah, I know. That's a really good, it's a good feeling. I don't know what's going on because I've been avoiding the media.
Blissful ignorance, it really is.
No, it's not great, but right now it's what I need. So, let's just share our person then.
Our person? The you want to talk
YouTuber,
about
because I'm super excited about it.
Okay. So your YouTube inspo?
My YouTube inspiration.
That's what we're calling it, huh?
So let me tell you how I got this inspiration. Okay, some of you I revealed it on Instagram, but my son Hayden, sent me a video from this YouTuber, and he said, "Hey mom, you should check this guy out. His videos are really interesting." So my son knows that videos are really, the making of the video is fun for me. So he noticed, I don't know how he found him, that'll probably be for another time, a discussion for another time. But this guy, probably because he makes drinks based on video games.
Well, he does some of them that are video game based. That's probably how he got it. But it's also like he also recommended you watch it specifically because of the way the guy edits.
Right, the guy edits videos like amazing. I don't know if he's editing the videos, but whoever his editor is, is spot on, and they're very fun. I want you to check out this guy. It's How to Drink on YouTube, and it's crafty in a way that you wouldn't expect. Okay, so this
Liquid
guy
craft.
obviously loves to create adult beverages, right? Alcoholic beverages, but he makes videos in a way that is informative and creative and very entertaining. It's very fun to watch, and you learn something, and it's really cool. And I have been engrossed in his videos. Hayden sent me the one about Animal Crossing, the Animal Crossing drink, because he was remaking a drink per se that's from the Animal Crossing game. He does this a lot. He does these like remakes based on video games, and he makes a drink, or a drink that's in the video game, or a drink that is inspired by the video game. But it's really cool.
He's a lot of fun to watch.
And
he's really lighthearted.
You can find non-alcoholic beverages on there too. I saw a how to make a Dole Whip, both a rum like version and a non-alcoholic version, which I would love to try to make the non-alcoholic version sometime soon. And it had ingredients that I didn't even think was in there.
That's true.
I'm glad I saw the video. And I just think that he's really creative and fun, and I think if you're interested in that kind of thing, I think once you get to a certain point in your life when quantity of alcohol isn't as important as the quality.
Oh, is that where we've become? Where we've
yeah,
reached
we've gotten to a point where quality drinks have overcome the quantity. So instead of funneling beer in through a tube.
Here's the Dole Whip. The Dole Whip's on the screen right now.
Yeah. Instead of funneling beer in through a tube, you want to like make a nice drink that is something that's you're going to enjoy, right? Because you can't drink that many of them anymore.
No doubt. Plus the amount of sugar that's in it would send anybody into a diabetic coma.
Exactly. Nobody wants that. So I think it's a great person for you to check out. Very entertaining How to Drink.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. I second the recommendation, and you and I don't always agree on YouTube.
On fun YouTubers,
on
because
YouTube
I like
channels.
beauty YouTubers sometimes too.
Yeah.
And you can't stand when someone's on the screen talking about makeup.
Yeah, I have my issues.
I know where our boundaries are, dear. I love you. So that's it for our news and information. Now it's Lisa's turn.
It is Lisa's turn.
So I have Lisa here with me in studio. Okay, so Lisa, do you want to come sit with me?
Everybody give a nice virtual welcome.
Yes.
Clap, clap, clap. Welcome
All
to
right,
Lisa.
Lisa!
Hi, everyone! Hello, friends! I'm so excited to be here.
So, tell us about yourself, Lisa.
Well, okay. So, my name is Lisa Hetrick. I am a watercolor artist and illustrator, and I am an illustrator for Gina K Designs. So, we're here to talk about a lot of that kind of stuff and do some fun watercolor techniques today and just kind of have some fun because we could all use a little bit of that.
Yes.
So, where do you want to start? Where
Well,
should we
if
start?
anyone-
Do we have questions?
If there's questions in the live chat.
I'll try to monitor them
Yeah.
and call
Yes,
them out.
Simon,
As
the
we-
beauty YouTubers they're really hardcore. Like, I don't
are
want to be in
hardcore.
their community.
No. Those makeup artists, some of them, it's like pure art that they're creating.
I mean, it's
pretty
amazing. My daughter actually really gets into makeup and like drawing. I just sent her this thing where you have like this butterfly coming off your face, and it's amazing, like what she does. But I can't.
No, not me. Not me. I'm a paper girl.
Yeah, I just
We're
figure
gonna
out
keep
how
it
to
on
look less
paper.
dead. How do I look less dead? How do I?
like that.
Yeah, if that's possible, please teach me that. So.
Oh, so good. So good.
Just to, I guess start
All
with
right.
the beginning. Like
Well,
what
holy
have you
smokes.
brought?
Okay, so have a lot of different things here, but a lot of the questions that I get about watercolor is that it feels like an incredibly uncomfortable experience for card makers. So I like to spend some time teaching people how to use the mediums that we have in our craft world as watercolor mediums. So I have a YouTube channel, not as lovely as Corinne's here, but
I mean,
I
do
do
you have
tutorials.
videos on it?
Yeah, I have
Because
videos on it. I do.
I've stopped putting videos up.
I do tutorials every week, but really, I'm here because I feel like I just want to share inspiration, and it's all about joy for me. So if you've ever seen any of my tutorials, you kind of see it kind of comes out that way. But the biggest question I get asked is how do I use it? Like, how do I make it do? How do I make watercolor do what I want it to do? People get really stymied by it because it is a medium or that feels a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
So a lot of that has to do with just going with the flow with it. Mm-hmm. So some of the things that we're going to do that I'm going to teach Corinne today is using our watercolor mediums and doing what I call washy watercolor. So that's super, super wet, letting the medium just kind of flow into all the different places that it can. And we're going to just keep it really loose and free. So
I like it loose.
You like it. It's loose. So one of the first things I'm going to share is I have a lot of things up here. I just kind of brought a ton of stuff. So one of the first things that I'm going to share is that for watercolor, I bet you we have a lot of Copic marker artists or Copic marker enthusiasts in our crowd. So I've been using Copic markers forever. Since, if I said 1987 is when I started using them in art school. So I've used them for a really, really long time, but they are a medium that we feel like we have a lot of control over. But what I'm getting to is that Copic artists, paper matters, right? When we're using our Copic markers, paper matters. So when we're using watercolor, paper matters. And you can get different effects from using different kinds of paper. So I brought some paper here.
What have we got? Tim, are we on the down facing?
Yeah, and you can kind of tell me if I'm got everything all laid out really well.
I think as long as we're on the glass mat, we're good.
Oh, cool. Okay. So I have some papers here. I have Bristol paper. I have Gina K Designs heavyweight cardstock, and I have Gina K Designs layering white cardstock. So what I'm going to say about these two cardstocks would apply to any white cardstock you would use for card making. I have watercolor cold press paper, which is it's a wood pulp paper, and then I have 100% cotton cold press paper. So all three of these papers will give you different effects. So I have a couple samples I'm going to show you here. So I'm going to start with the cotton papers because I am very biased to the cotton papers.
Okay.
When it comes to watercolor. I always share that if you can use 100% cotton cold press paper, you are going to get watercolor effects that are more like this, that are very like washy, kind of have that traditional look and feel for watercolor, drippy, that kind of thing. Now, this whole card was designed using Gina K inks and distress oxides to get that watercolor effect. But you can see that the paper kind of makes a huge difference in the vibrancy and the brightness because the paper, because it's 100% cotton, here's the nerdy part. I'm sorry. Most of you, if you've ever watched anything from me, it's Nerd City. So the 100% cotton cold press paper, it has fibers in it. So when the water hits the paper, it spreads into the fibers, and that gives us these luscious, delicious kind of washy effects.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to focus on today.
All right.
But I'm just going to talk everybody through the other papers. Now, watercolor cold press wood pulp paper, and I'm going to show a sample. Like I brought examples.
This one looks a lot whiter to me, and I know that's important to people.
It's very important to people. Now, this particular brand of 100% cotton cold press paper for our paper crafters. I always define paper between like artisan level, where you would use that paper to create a painting that you want to last for 1,000 years, right? Or our paper crafting, card making papers. Here is the latest brand that I have found, the Arteza brand, really, really effective and good quality. I like the B Paper Company brand, but holy smokes, ever since COVID,
Really?
can't find
Yeah.
it anywhere. It's disappeared.
Here, I'll
So
take it.
that's kind of what happens. So this paper that we're going to
Make
talk
sure
about
you get that back, Lisa.
I mean, I just put it right here.
Well, I've got quite a bit. I've got quite a bit of that because, you know, I like it. So the watercolor cold press wood pulp paper, everybody will
I've
probably
always-
recognize
yeah,
this.
Canson.
Our Canson paper. So the issue with the Canson paper is that it's wood pulp, so it's not 100% cotton. So the wood fibers are smashed together to make a mash, and then it makes the paper.
Right.
So what happens when we're watercoloring on this, and we might get effects that are not washy-washy. You would get effects that are more where the color is laying on top of the paper. Sort of like when we use our Copic markers and it lays on top. So some of our mediums that work really well on this kind of paper for watercolor would be if we're using any kind of re-inker, if we're using like the liquid watercolors, and there's so many different brands in our paper crafting industry. This is Art Philosophy. Here's one from Hero Arts. There's also Avriel,
P.H. Martin.
Here's the Dr. P.H. Martins. These are all really great watercolors. If you have these in your stash, they're going to perform amazing on the 100% cotton paper, but they're going to be more vibrant on this kind of paper. And because that paper is so readily available, you know, it's a great starter paper, but there is a difference in the color. There is a difference in the color. So that's the nerding out about the paper. So I'm going to bring in the Bristol real quick, and I'm going to bring in Bristol next to this card.
That is so pretty.
So a lot of us have, I'm going to bring in a couple things. A lot of us have these things, these kinds of water-based markers in our stash. And I know, I don't even have to see you all. I know that your hand is up. Tombos, the real brush pens, our Zig Clean Color brush pens. This is the paper that I use consistently to get that watercolor effect with this kind of medium.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
So the difference is in the paper. So the different kinds of effects that we want to get.
So what are we going to do today?
All right. So we're done nerding out about paper. The one other thing, whenever you're using a white colored cardstock, any brand, if you've noticed that you're using your watercolor mediums, like your pens, and you're using them on this kind of cardstock and it pills up, that's because it's a water-based medium, and this kind of paper is not suited to handle that kind of water.
I always figure it out when I stamp it and emboss it on the wrong paper, and then I start coloring and it starts to pill up, and I'm like, this was not the right paper.
Is there a trick to testing that? I mean, is there a way to do that before you get too deep into the project?
Like, if it's Bristol or Nina, I put a B and an N on it.
Bristol and Nina look very close and similar in texture.
So I have to
I don't know this stuff, so I'm literally asking for somebody else who probably doesn't know.
It's good questions. I have to mark it with a pencil because I cannot tell those apart.
So we are going to have some fun and do some washy watercolor. Now,
is that a real term?
It's my term.
It's Lisa's.
I use it all the time.
Well, I'm just trying to see where it all
washy
fits.
watercolor, and I don't know. I don't think I made it up. I might have. I don't know, but it doesn't matter.
Well, there was Mr. Washy in The Simpsons years ago. So. Or no, not The Simpsons. It was the Family Guy had a Mr. Washy.
I can only imagine what their washy means.
Well, every time I keep hearing her say washy, I see the character flash in my head, and it's screwing me up.
Washy. When I'm talking about washy, I'm talking about this like watercolory, very uncontrollable look and feel. Some of our watercolor, though, is controlled like this. When we talk about that no-line watercoloring, we're not going to do that today.
Okay.
You know why? Because if you can master the feeling of the washy and you can get that technique down, You can do this any day.
Okay.
All day.
Because when I tried no line watercoloring, it all like I can't get any definition in my petals, and maybe that's because I don't know enough about how flowers are laying on each other or something, but I always get confused. Always.
Yeah, I get it, because so you can see you're trying to look at each part of the petal and notice where the sun may hit it and not may hit it. And then,
I don't know why I do that to myself.
What happens is your brain just shuts down because the joy is gone.
Right.
Right? So no more joy, because we have overthought everything that we're doing,
Exactly.
right? So no, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
I feel like if you start out with like this washy kind of watercolor, you rewire your brain for joy, you have so much fun with your watercolor, and then you're able to tackle something
I like that. Rewiring
our brain for joy.
Yes.
Okay, so I have the 100% cotton watercolor paper here. I'm using the Arteza brand.
Do we need water?
I got a little dish of water when you
good.
weren't looking. Actually, I think I brought some. So I've got a couple different ways I'm going to show this. So this is a watercolor pan set this is American Crafts. Yes. This is definitely something people would recognize. This is the paper fashion set from American Crafts.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And
I have the gouache set.
Most people are going to know, like, this is Prima's.
That looks so pretty.
I've had these for years. This is Prima's pan set, and I just jammed them all into one.
It looks like a beautiful mess.
It is a beautiful mess, isn't it?
I can't do that.
It's kind of a hot mess.
Personality makes me clean all this stuff up.
No, we don't clean. No, we leave all those leavings for later.
You have to teach me.
You gotta leave the leavings for later, because then they'll be fun. So we have these, and we also have, I'm going to bring these in, because maybe Corin would love to use these.
I'm really I've never even touched these, and I see them all over the internet, like the latest and greatest thing, and I'm drooling over them. The Karen
brush markers.
Yeah, I don't have these.
So these are the Karen brush markers. Now, there's a lot of different ways to use them, but these two mediums, you could also use your distress inks. You could also use your dye-based inks. You can use any of your inks that you have in cubes to do this technique. So I may do like a mix mash or a bunch of different things. So we'll see.
Do whatever you want.
So we've got a brush. Oh, here they are. I'm hiding them over here.
Oh, okay. Do I get one?
I'm going to give you this one. So
this one has like a really nice feel to it.
It's a nice brush. These are both nice brushes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Princeton. This is a silver black velvet. When you're doing this washy technique, what you're really, really looking for is a round brush that's going to hold a lot of water. And I'm going to show you what happens. It also comes to a really nice point.
I see that.
That's kind of irrelevant.
Are you a lefty?
I am a lefty.
Interesting.
We're like set up perfectly right here.
I'm a lefty.
Well, I was just noticing, like, while I was going to say, hey, look, like, you're kind of the demonstrator. You should, if you're a righty, kick her out and switch.
Kick me out.
Nope, I'm a lefty. So let's go ahead. We'll put this in the middle here.
Okay.
I've got these really fun little palettes I brought.
These are cute.
They are cute. They're made by an artist. Hey, if you want to check out this artist, her name is... Shoot, I forgot her name. Sylvan Clayworks on Instagram. A lot of people have her palettes. Mm-hmm. I love her palettes. Okay, so we're going to do a technique called wet and wet. So this stamp right here is from my Free to Flourish stamp set with Gina K Designs, and this was just a recent release. Anyone who's big Gina K fans out there, we've got a release coming soon. But we're using the flower image from this stamp.
What flower is this?
This is a whimsical flower of no name.
Oh, okay. No name.
No name. Whimsical flower a la Lisa.
It's an interesting point because she always struggles to try to figure out what they are, and I have told her in the past that I'm pretty sure that's not nature's creation.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even keep that in my brain bank as an option. Like, what do you mean they made this up?
I make stuff up all the time. Like if you look at the flower here, it could be a sunflower. it's a multi-petal, maybe a zinnia. I don't, when I'm drawing flowers, there's definitely a botanical way to draw flowers that takes an epic amount of time.
Right.
And that's a different brain wiring event. But most of the time I'm thinking of whimsical flowers that also feel good for stampers to craft with.
Right.
And feel less stressed that, oh my gosh, I got to look at every single petal and figure out how I'm going to color that petal.
I appreciate that.
Well, and but that's a legitimate concern, especially for her when she tries to do something that's more realistic, and she tries to replicate or emulate a naturally occurring flower, and it really feels overwhelming for her to try to make something that's just pretty instead of something that's accurate.
To get inspiration, I go to Pinterest or Google certain types of flowers. Yeah, because I'm so not a flower person that I need to see what colors I can use, and I don't even put it back there that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I'm here to tell you, it does not matter. It doesn't matter. Like, it totally doesn't matter at all, because we're going to come back to, when we sit down to craft our joy, we are rewiring our brain for time to just play.
That's right.
So when we get a little bit stressed out about the nature of the petal and this and that, and there's a place for that kind of watercoloring and that kind of coloring. But I'm here to set you free, girl.
Thank you. Let's do it.
All right, we are going to start with, this technique is called wet into wet. So we're going to dip our brush in and get it nice and juicy and wet. And we're going to, now the other thing is, I stamped my stamped image with the Amalgamate from Gina K Designs. Okay. I used Obsidian because this is an ink that will not run with any kind of water-based medium. Look, I see you. I see what you're doing. You're trying to control where that water's going to go. I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. We are totally doing this wet into wet. And do you see how I'm just slopping it down?
I'm supposed to go out of the lines.
Going all out of the lines, and you're just slopping it in here. I'm giving you permission, and anybody out there watching who might be, maybe crafting along with us and doing their thing, we are painting this piece of cardstock with water right now. And I'm just, you see me constantly kind of dipping into the water. Oh, good. Let it spread.
I've got like a booger.
Let it spread. Let it spread.
It's not my booger, dear.
We kind of going to just let this kind of drip and do its thing. Now, this technique is called wet into wet.
You just let it drip down the page like
that?
I
did. Do it. Oh, look at.
I don't have enough water.
You need to add more water. You're trying to control the outcome. And one of the things about watercolor is that we want to lose that sense of control. We want to go
This
with
is
the
my issue.
flow.
Yeah, I need to go with the flow more.
We want to go with the flow.
To give up the control.
Lisa, what was the name of was that Southern Craftworks for the stone palette?
Oh, Sylvan Clayworks. Sarah. Her name is Sarah. Yeah. She is a ceramicist, and you can find her on Instagram, Sarah Diane. I will tell you, she is a maker that makes in batches, and she sells out very, very quickly.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that do it that way. It's kind of frustrating when you're the buyer.
It did take me 6 months to get a piece from her, but it was well worth it. Well worth the wait. All right, this is what we're going to do.
Okay, it's dripping now.
That's okay. It's all drippy. So our paper is wet, and this paper can take it. You can see that the paper's not filling.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's that 100% cotton paper. We're going to take our Karen brush marker, and this is how I like to use it. I'm going to rub it down onto our craft surface. We're going to get it all juicy and wet.
How's that for some ASMR?
And we're going to start dropping it into our water.
Are you making That's What She Said jokes?
I heard that too, and I think it's funny.
No, I said, how's that for some ASMR? The squeaking.
Oh, ASMR.
Oh, the squeaking.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure if it picked it up.
So I'm just bringing this to the paper?
And you're dropping it in, and we're letting it do its thing. We're letting it flow. Watch, I'm going to I'm going to grab this pink right here from this pan. So we get a feeling of what it's like to use a marker and then a pan. So,
see, I feel like this flower got a little dry, so I just go back
add more water.
But my brush is dirty.
Nope. Who cares?
Okay.
Like, nobody cares, because It's all
Your
they're
OCD
colors.
is preventing you from having fun with this.
Right.
Just
I know.
relax.
I need this.
Now,
I
if
need
you
some-
really are concerned, you can always clean your brush in between. But you can see that my lack of concern.
No, I like it. I like
You
the
can
lack of
see
concern.
how we're
I
just
need more of
dropping
that.
the water in,
Uh-huh.
and it's flowing. It's going to flow. And
This
watch, I'm
pink
going to
is
even
so
tip
pretty.
it. I'm tipping it. Now, the thing about watercolor is, look, it will only go where the water is. So I'm tipping it around. So people feel sometimes that watercolor is out of control. But remember, wherever you put the water, that's where the pigment's going to go. So you can control it and still kind of make it look out of control, which I think is fun. So I'm just loosely dropping it in.
Mine's definitely.
You need to let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
I should try.
I
It
need to
looks
let
great
loose.
though. It looks fantastic. And the thing about watercolor is that we can layer and continue to layer. And it's going to dry when
Hi!
Holy smokes!
It's Gina! Hello, Gina.
There she is.
And
Hold
the
on,
thing
sorry
about
about that.
Do you have a
Bring her in.
YouTube?
Bringing her in.
layer,
I'm trying to turn it down.
and it's going to dry.
Sorry about that, y'all.
Can she see us?
Hello, Gina.
She's watching.
Hey.
How are you?
We have a mic issue. I have to turn this down real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry, Gina.
We have a gain problem.
We have a YouTube problem.
YouTubies. So I'm going to lay some more of that down.
All right. All right.
I can see you guys.
Oh, there she is.
Hi, Gina.
Hi.
Hello, sweet Gina.
How are
I can't hear you though.
Oh, bummer.
All right.
Let me see if I can turn my volume up and hear
As
better.
always, there's never a.
That's all right. That's a
and
live.
There's never a live without issue. I'm taking some of
Yeah,
yours.
take some of it. Roll with it.
Yours is so much more vibrant than mine.
Because I'm also just adding layers. See, I just keep adding layers on top. Now, when our watercolor is going to dry, or you can force it to dry, which is what I usually do. with
I
a
have
heat
one
tool.
of those Ranger,
Like
the
heat
little
tools.
hair dryer looking tool.
Yeah.
I usually use that when I want to air dry something quickly.
Quickly,
Yeah.
yes.
And then I have my wind tunnel.
Oh,
Look at this.
Look at that.
It's a fan,
That's clever.
and it's hooked up like
That's so cool. That's really
I call
cool.
it my wind tunnel. That's for slower drying things.
That's very cool. So she's still coming in?
I think they're working on it.
Okay, cool. Well, watercolor, the thing about watercolor is when it dries, like it looks super vibrant right now, but when it dries, it's going to dry back. Probably like 2 shades.
Yeah.
So it'll enable us to add another layer on top. And then if you dry in between each time you're applying color, you're going to, it's called glazing, or layering is just the simplest way of saying it. It jacks up the vibrancy of your project. So it's like multi-layered. And it's really, really super easy to do. It's just fun. But again, with watercolor and this washy technique.
She said, "I can't hear you, but I love you both."
Oh. Well, thank you for coming and saying hi to us. Can we need to hide? She can't hear us. So how
Hey,
do
Gina, can
we
you
tell
hear me?
her that we love her back? Do you know sign language?
Can you hear Tim?
Can she hear you?
How do you do that? Like this?
I know she can't hear me. Hang on
We
a second.
suck. We need to learn technology.
Well, we can hear Gina.
We could hear her.
Oh man. Well, Gina stopped in to say hi to us.
Gina's amazing. Sweet Gina. I'm so happy to see you.
Well, we're sorry that
So-
Zoom let us down once again.
Zoom.
Did she?
Yeah.
It's Zoom.
It happens. Oh, thank you, Gina.
But we love you. We love,
Love
you
you.
too. I need to get
can
like
hear you.
a whiteboard for when that happens, because it happens actually a lot.
With the sound?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a Zoom thing.
There's tech,
It's probably
there's
my
all
issue.
kinds of tech gremlins that we're dealing with nowadays, right?
I have been wanting this new like thing that connects all of the things together. Okay, like a hub.
Okay.
And it was supposed to launch like right before Corona. And so now it's never gonna get here. It's never gonna be available.
Let's take a little look at what we've got going on here.
Is this weird?
No.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna do. So
I'm trying to be too
you
controlling.
see how we have these little hard edges? And
Yeah.
if we want to soften them a little bit, we're just going to come in with some
Water.
wet water.
Okay.
And you can see that the pigment's just going to draw itself out.
Mm-hmm.
It wants to go where the water is.
Yeah.
And see how it softens it up. Now, the pigment's never going to go where the water isn't. So it's only going to be where the water is. So for this we used 100% cotton paper. Right? So we were able to get those washy effects.
Because of the cotton is a different absorbency than the wood.
Yes.
Learned that today from you.
Yes. It's a different absorbency, and it's also just will allow you to just have this kind of washy effects.
I love
now,
it.
you could do
But
the
mine
same
looks
thing.
way worse than yours because you're much more free.
There's no way worsing. We don't way worse. We just have fun. Look, I'm just getting loose, having fun. So I took some distress inks, and you could do the same kind of thing. See how we're just mixing up our distress inks and making a puddle of color. Making a puddle of color.
I love that
having
color.
some fun with it. One of the things when you feel like you want to get more control over the color is I break it down this way. This is like a wash. We're doing a wash. Mm-hmm. That's like skim milk, right? Okay. So that's our first layer. And I talked about that glazing and that layering. Once we let it dry, we come in with another layer over top of it. And then it's kind of like skim, like 2% milk.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a stronger value. We let it dry again, and I come in over top of it again, and I get that full strength, whole milk kind of look.
Okay.
If you think about water ratios that way, it makes it a whole lot easier to understand how these mediums can work for you.
Mm-hmm. So what color did you use to make those 3 variants of color?
So this was actually Festive Berries.
Wow.
So yeah, that's Festive Berries. And just to kind of take it to another level with the old Festive Berries, here's a sample of doing more of a controlled but kind of washy with our distress inks. So picked raspberry, Festive Berries, mustard seed, and pine needle.
You know, I haven't used my distress inks in so long, but those colors are so pretty.
Aren't
like
they?
we loved those for a reason.
Yes. And they're super, super vibrant.
Yeah.
And what, I'm encouraging you is to use what you have in your stash and use it as a watercolor medium because it can be used that way. There's so many, holy smokes, Tim Holtz does so many amazing things with the distress inks. There's so many different techniques that you can do, but I literally grab any kind of ink I have and turn it into a watercolor medium. And this is how you do it. You could do the same thing like with our Gina K. And I'm just going to make a puddle and I can paint with it. And we can do these washy color effects that way. Look at that. So if we let that dry, we could add more.
Yeah.
Now the Karen brush markers are great for the way we've showed here, but a lot of people will also use them because I know you're curious about the Karen brush markers. A lot of people will do them direct to paper. So that's a very controlled way. You have to work a little faster, but see how this particular marker will blend out very, very well.
Right.
So the Karen brush markers are really good like that they'll blend out very, very well.
That's really wet.
But if you're using something like a watercolor pencil, and I'm doing that direct to paper that we just talked about, you get a little bit of extra texture that's a little harder to blend out. So it really depends on the kind of effect you're going for.
Right.
Washy, blendy, or a little more texture.
See, I like that those granules.
Yes.
I really do like those granules that come up in some watercolors that you use. Like when it's too blendy, I think it looks fine, but those granules, those little, I guess, like specks
it is.
of
It's
watercolor.
granulation.
Yeah, I really like that.
A lot of watercolor mediums have that granulation built into them. Like if you've heard of the Daniel Smith line
Is that
paints,
a sign of a good watercolor?
It is a sign of a really good watercolor that will do. It brings in that extra level of texture. And watercolor pencils, a lot of watercolor pencils will do that because the pigment, the little specks of pigment from the pencil is left, and it picks up into the fibers of the paper and it lays on top, which is kind of fun. So, you know, like the Zig Clean color brushes, same thing. We could do a little direct to paper. These are the ones I feel like are a little harder to do direct to paper. Got to work faster. Ooh.
That has some blue on it.
Yeah. Look at that. You got to work faster, and then some of that, sometimes it doesn't blend out as well.
Karen Diaz asks, can you use pigment inks for watercolor?
Yes. Oh, yes. So I had like a Gina K here. You could use any brand for watercolor. The only thing is, like, some brands aren't necessarily water reactive, but they have water in them. Okay.
Like the oxides are pigment and dye.
Yeah, the oxides are pigment and dye. Watch what we do.
Could you ever take a straight pigment ink pad, like something that's just pigment or chalk ink, and try to watercolor with it?
You can. I have, but it's a little draggy, if that makes any sense. Like, watch when I do, like, with the oxides. It's a little draggy. You got to work a little harder to blend it out. It also will dry to a much more matte finish. It won't be super vibrant. You can I would encourage anybody to grab it and just get this going. I am making a holy mess all over your craft mat here.
It's beautiful.
Which is pretty much how I roll. So, but like, this is, the stress oxides are predominantly pigment. So you can see that is a very opaque look versus a very transparent look here. But yeah, you can. We have all these wonderful things in our stash, and I'm like, get them out and use them. Get them all out and use them and try them out for watercolor.
So Tim, we do have a discussion question this evening.
Yes.
Do you want to... this week's, or this month's discussion question is from me. I have several other discussion questions from Procrastination, but this month I'm particularly interested in hearing everyone's take, I guess. And we do have giveaways. We have a giveaway. We have to do a giveaway in the live chat.
Yes.
And we're going to do another giveaway for the comment section for replay.
Yeah,
So,
I was kind of thinking, like, during the live chat we could try to figure out how many times Lisa was going to say washy, but I mean,
and I said blendy.
I wasn't keeping track,
yeah,
though.
I lost total track of that, so we're going to have to think of something else, y'all.
Probably like 10 times.
Oh, it was more than that.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
We need a good giveaway question. If anyone in the live chat has a good giveaway question.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm blanking. I don't have
Why do we always do this? We knew there was a giveaway.
I write it down ahead of time to say, come up with a good giveaway question, and then I don't.
Okay, well, why don't we let that marinate, and then in the meantime, we'll talk about the discussion question that's actually on the screen right now.
Month's discussion question, which I don't have it in front of me. Tim, do you want to read it aloud?
Yes, it is. What do you do when social media becomes toxic and it begins to affect your creativity?
So, social media right now, I'm sure everyone can attest, is a bit toxic. And for me, I'll let Lisa answer this, but for me, I tend to run away because although, times change and I'm a very open book. I mean, you ask me a question, I'm going to give you the honest answer. But I've also been raised that there are certain things that you don't talk about in pleasant company. I don't force those things into topic of conversation, basically because I don't want people to feel the way I've been feeling. And so lately, instead of participating in things, I've been finding other ways to occupy my time. And it really kind of stifles my creativity to not have inspiration from everyone. So what happens, or what do you do when it becomes toxic and you still want to be a creative person? So the way that I'm handling it is I'm taking a step back, spending more time with my family, which really needs me right now, and creating when I want to. And that really helps me maintain some creativity and some happiness, because that's the most important thing. Lisa, how do you take that?
It's been a tough year, hasn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, we were all faced with a lot of challenges. I feel like you need to protect your peace and set some really good boundaries around what you allow in. So with social media, when I feel like it's getting to be too much, and it's very easy for all of us to rabbit hole and like, well, look what she said, look what they said, and then you go deeper and deeper, but that's really not serving you, and it's also taking up space in your brain rent free. So I agree with you, like stepping back from social media, if you feel like it's taking on, it's making your heart hurt. If it's making your heart hurt and your mind hurt, it's going to affect you in other ways.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what's really important. And it does affect your creativity. And many of us, all of us, have felt in a slump. I know I have. But one thing to get out of that is to have a practice. Like I have a painting practice or a practice where I try to create something with my hands at least every day, and even if only for 5 minutes, even if it's just a doodle on the napkin on the table, because when you do that, when you do something with your hands, you are rewiring your brain for joy. You just are. You're rewiring your brain. Now, you don't have to come down into your physical space and get out all your gear and all the things, because sometimes that's exhausting.
Right.
Just getting out all the things. You could just grab a pen, a piece of paper, and doodle. And just try something to help you rewire that energy. Everything is energy. Everything that we view on our phones is energy, and it zaps us. Personally, I'm an empath. You are an empath. So we have to work extra hard at protecting our boundaries and protecting our energy. So, and not feed into it, because then we just make that energy more strong, and it just, right? So and grace, ladies and gentlemen, please, grace, because we're all in a season that's very different and unfamiliar. And we're all also in a season where we're kind of being asked or called to rest a bit, right? Rest a bit. So
I was looking at questions.
Have some grace for your day. And if you can only muster up this, grace. Grace.
And even Lisa
Grace
has
for the 5 minutes.
had to remind me, even in the hour that she's been here, to give myself grace, because I still, even with trying to take a step back and reprioritizing things, you still get sucked into it really quick. So I'm doing better, but it physically, it affects me physically, because I have a heart condition, and it's an emotional thing. That just this morning I watched a video where, a child was being treated improperly, and there's not anything I can do with it. I'm watching this video, and all it's doing is making me feel bad. That's it. It's not serving any purpose whatsoever. And that's been happening to me so much lately that's why I just turn it off.
Well, and I think there's an underlying point here. You both are kind of making it. The simplified point, as far as I can tell, is to remember what y'all are doing and what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that puts you in a position to joyously connect with people you can't physically be with. And when it starts to devolve into a position of acrimony and toxicity and all of those bad things that are there, you have to be smart enough to decide when to turn it off and when to just, it's not a retreat. It's not, it's not cowardly. And there's a lot of people right now in the comments that are saying the same thing, to take a step back. It's not a retreat. It's so you shouldn't feel bad about it. It's a necessity. It's something that you're going to have to do to be able to recenter yourself and be able to look at things objectively again, and to not develop a jade and an edge against people that might have a different opinion than you do, or that they say or do something that hurts you personally.
Right.
This has got to take a back seat, the social media. And I know it's hard for you, especially because your jobs are to be social. Like your jobs are hard. I'm easy. Like I can, like if I don't like somebody, I'm just going to go up on a roof, right? Nobody's going to follow me. You know, I mean, you guys don't have anywhere to run.
Honestly, I'm really good at taking other people's opinions, even that are not like mine. And being totally okay with it, even if it's the exact opposite of what I think. I am still going to love you no matter what.
And I'm gonna take a second and go through some of the responses here.
Okay, great.
Just so that you guys can see and understand what everybody is coming back with.
Since you took my phone.
It's because nobody wants to see you checking your phone. That's not good content. So my job is to make sure that I'm trying to make sure that I'm helping you make good content. Nobody wants to see you watching your phone. Roberta walks away. She walks away from social media. She doesn't, she doesn't deal with that. Megan removes herself. Brenda turns it off, turns on Pandora and crafts.
Man, I haven't listened to Pandora in a long time.
Jacqueline ignores social media. Marie Nicole, she turns it off, usually listens to audiobooks instead. Anna stops going on social media. Sonia turns it off and listens to music. So what you guys, what I see, okay, is an overwhelming reaction that you all are doing the same thing. You're all deciding that I think the key is to try to recognize it before it hits you too deeply.
Yeah.
To try before it really affects your happiness. Start to realize that you're getting sucked down the rabbit hole, and that you don't want to be on that side of the looking glass.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we still need a question for the giveaway.
Well, nobody asked that.
Good question.
All right, I'm gonna think of a number
question.
then.
A number?
Yeah.
18.
Oh well, that's. I'm gonna think of a different number.
Lies.
I'm gonna think of a different number between one. I don't know. Is there a better way to do this?
And Gina just said, find people who lift you up and see and know your worth. And I'll tell you what, that I could not agree with more.
Yes.
Absolutely. Find people who are going to help you be a better you instead of try to tear down the you that's right there, that's already magnificent.
Gina is right. You absolutely surround yourself with people who bring you peace and joy and inspire you.
Oh yeah.
And absolutely inspire you.
And I do. I have all of you guys that I follow on Instagram and YouTube, and I get a lot of inspiration. But unfortunately, social media shares things with me that I don't want them to share.
Yeah.
And it's all part of it. So it's kind of like you have to be your own filter for a little while, and it's hard for me. It's hard for me.
Grace for taking it one step at a time. Sometimes even every minute to minute, right? Yeah. So there's grace for all that.
Minute's way too long. It's second to second to some of us. Some of us have shorter fuses than others.
I'm Irish.
My wife is Irish.
I'm Irish too. I get it.
No fuse.
It takes also just find that place of gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for in this? Turn this off, and what am I grateful for in this moment? And that will rewire your brain.
And I tell my kids that too. Mm-hmm. Like when Kaylin starts to get really down on herself, I'm like, there are so many things in this world for us to be thankful for.
Absolutely.
Let's just start with one thing. What are you thankful for right now?
Exactly.
And she hates it because it's like mom stuff, but it makes you start to think really what's important.
It rewires your brain for joy.
Yeah. I like
gratitude. Before you go to bed, think of one grateful thing.
And
how about this? Let's put everyone in the live chat. I want them to say something that they're grateful for today.
Yes, love that.
And Tim, you pick a winner.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Yeah, it's on you, buddy.
Winner,
okay.
winner.
Chicken
washy,
dinner.
washy. Blendy, blendy.
Fair enough. All right. Well, everybody, think of something that they're thankful for today. Leave a comment, and I'll pick something.
The comments section for replay as well. If you want to enter the giveaway, we're giving away a $50 gift certificate to Gina K Designs for the live chat. Yeah, from Lisa. and another $50 for the replay in the comments section.
Also
so if
from
you're
Lisa.
watching this on replay, you have a chance to win in the comments section as well. So leave us what you're grateful for, and I'll pick a winner in the comments section in 1 week's time. Or is that
Wait,
good? Yeah.
What are you
I
doing?
usually do a 3-day.
What are you doing? Are you doing comments on this?
Yeah,
that
comments
you're
on the
thankful for,
live, and then she said
comments.
Yeah, 'cause
Yes.
we have 2
All right.
that I will have sent to the winners.
Yeah. So leave in the
will
live
buy
chat,
and
which
have
you're
sent to
going to
the
pick
winners.
before we're done here today. And then another gift certificate will be given away. And we'll do it for a week. We'll let it go for a week for replay. And then we'll pick another winner in the comments section.
Okay.
So everyone in the live chat, leave Tim a comment about what you're grateful for, and he'll pick a winner for the gift certificate. And before we're done, the next, what I don't know. He took my phone, so I don't even know what time it is.
That's right. I took your phone because you are you're not a
8:56.
good producer.
So if there's questions, please also leave those for us.
So
We have
there
a few more
there
minutes.
was one overwhelming question
Cool.
that everybody wanted to, and I wanted to let you get through your entire presentation to see if I could extract the answer without asking the question directly.
Okay.
But everybody really wants to know, what are your favorite watercolors? And I know that's such a loaded question, like it's got to be a hard thing when it's your medium like that, but there were several folks, Dana and Roberta and a couple other, I think Tracy also at some point, all
favorite's
three
not
asked what
technically
your
a
favorites were.
watercolor thing.
What's your favorite?
Those Inktense pencils.
Yes, that is an ink
Yeah.
pencil that acts very much like a watercolor, but here's the nerdy part.
It's an ink.
It dries and it's completely water resistant and it doesn't fade, and it's a unique kind of pencil. It's really amazing.
That's what I reach for first, and then after that is the Distress, or it was these. Oh, sorry, I poked you. The Zig Clean Color.
The Ziggers.
And then my son got to them, and now they're in there with some Crayola markers. And I just let him play with them, so I haven't reached for them. And then I want these.
She wants these. We might
to
have
replace
make
them.
That happen for
The Karen Brush Marker Pro, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet, because I really, I want to feel like being creative again. I want
play
that
with what you
first.
have.
Yeah, I want that first, and then I'll buy new stuff.
Play
But
with
so
what
if I had to answer that question, it'd probably be anything like in the marker form.
like a Tombow or any kind of
The
water-based
Tombos, I
marker.
love those, but I don't have very many of those.
Yeah, I do.
Do you find that it's harder to move those around?
Yeah, it is, and I do that. You will always see me doing this, and then lifting it up from there and using it that way. This direct to paper with the Tombow is a little bit challenging because you got to work really quick.
Do you feel
make
it's
it move.
quicker than these?
This is way quicker.
Yeah.
Yes, way quicker.
Okay.
And these have their place. I love them. I still use them a lot. So, and again, it depends on paper. How we're going to use them on, which paper we're going to use them on.
So what are your favorites?
My favorite watercolor medium. So everything that we showed tonight, I really enjoy using all of it for my paper crafting projects. But because I do a lot of watercolor paintings for my shop and for products and things like that, my favorite watercolor brands are Daniel Smith and Sennelier, which Sennelier is a French brand. It's very common, but Daniel Smith is American made. There's like 236 colors.
Ooh.
We don't need all 236 colors, but they have that unique granulation in some of their pigments that gives you that
The
funky,
minerally look.
beautiful texture. They're really great to work with. Now, they're considered an artist grade, like a little bit more higher quality. And I use them a lot for my paper crafting projects as well. But they are an expense that you need to kind of work up to. That's what I always say. And with watercolor or with any kind of medium, I just say try to get what is in your budget. And then when you're ready to upgrade, you'll upgrade. Right? There's no... you can make anything that you have rewire your brain for joy and have fun doing it.
I say that to people about cameras all the time.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the guys I watch on YouTube, Fro Knows Photo, he says it.
Fro Knows Photo.
Yeah, it's not about how nice your camera is. Okay, you can take a good photo with a camera. Okay, it's not about upgrading to the latest and greatest thing. It's about getting good with what you have.
Yes.
And
having some fun with it.
I've been shooting cameras since I was a kid. And I'm starting to play more and more with my phone.
Yeah.
Like, and not because I want to. Because, well, that's not true. It's not because I have to. It's because I want to, because they're starting to get
so good.
Yeah.
They're starting to get good enough
the
to where I'm
capability.
looking at it like I have probably $10,000 worth of glass and camera bodies and now I'm thinking like my phone is a fraction of that.
awesome.
And
I mean, it does some
it's
amazing
getting
things.
It's getting pretty good. Like
Yeah.
they're really getting pretty good.
I have the iPhone 11 Pro Max or
That's what I
whatever
have.
that thing is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, I just have a really good time shooting with that.
It is amazing. Like the portrait modes, the different things that you can do. And again, you've got it. Work with what you've got and just have some fun with it. Just because you have better, what I want to say is just because you have better paints doesn't mean your outcomes will be better.
Right.
If you're going to spend some money in the watercolor realm, spend it on the paper
Right.
and get the good or the better, higher quality cotton paper, because your results with any of the mediums you work with are going to improve.
Right.
Because
I
of the
agree with
paper.
that. Yeah.
Was there a favorite Bristol Smooth to use with markers?
Yeah, I've got the Bristol here. I have a Strathmore Bristol, but this is just, you want that vellum finish. This is readily available. There's several brands that you can get. I've never found a Bristol that I didn't like, but you just really want that vellum. The Strathmore brand seems to have a nice bright
Wrong button.
white
Yeah.
that's, kind of nice. I think I did this.
I've never found
card
a
with-
really truly bright white Bristol paper. It's always a little bit off white.
Yeah, this is this card was done with that Bristol, that Strathmore Bristol. So that's kind of one of my favorites, and this is pretty easy going. Get, in your local stores.
Yeah, that's what's
It's pretty common.
mostly,
Yeah.
that's what I find in the store, so that's what I buy
Yeah.
because that's what's available to me in the store. Well, when I went shopping for things,
Back in the day, right?
Back
when
in
we
the
went
day.
shopping for things. That's all right. It'll
when
all
I
be
left
okay.
my house sometimes back then,
It's okay.
I really miss going and just going to Hobby Lobby and
Like
just
perusing.
yeah,
The whole perusing of things is changed.
Shopping.
touching. I miss
Actually
the touching of
shopping
things.
for
Touching.
something.
And just looking and observing and just kind of, while you're looking at something, thinking of all the wonderful things you can make with it. That's how my brain works. Like, I pick this
Yeah.
up and I'm like,
I think that's a
I
big
think I
thing
can
of
make
it.
all this,
When I
right?
feel uninspired, I would go to the store and buy something
And get
new, even if
inspired.
it was like a new pen,
Right.
something that inspired something to click, and you don't have that now.
Hey, don't feel bad. The most uncomfortable I've been since this whole thing started is being in the produce section at the grocery store. Like, I mean,
You're not allowed to touch anything.
well, I'm
Feel
sorry, but
uncomfortable. You're just not sure.
what am I supposed to do here?
Yeah.
There's a
like
lot
I
of
want to get good
uncertainty.
fruit, but I have to touch it. You guys, I have
Right.
to touch the fruit.
Right. I don't know what to do. Like,
Well, that you nailed it. That feeling of uncertainty really affects us in all aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
So it is something that we have to give a lot of grace to, and at some point, give that energy up and out, and just what I always say and what I always tell my kids too is just do the next loving thing right in front of you,
Yeah.
and then the next thing, and then the next thing, and before you know it, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Do we have a winner, Tim?
sure.
yay!
Sure. Are we going to announce it here?
Yeah, we have to
Okay.
announce it in the
Well,
live chat.
then I've selected Abby Rockhill.
Abby Rockhill.
She
Rockhill.
her
I
comment
know who
was
that
that she's
is.
grateful for our servicemen and women, and
Yes.
day like today, I always want to, I'm happy for the remembrance. So
Yes.
you have
My
my
niece
salute
is in
as
the
well.
Navy. She's 18. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every male
Every day.
in my family, except for my father and Tim, because of disabilities, has been in the military. So every man.
Not for lack of trying.
Yeah, but my dad and my husband were unable. They turned them away, literally turned them away. So,
So I was just-
so
Gratitude for
Abby,
service.
that's awesome.
So Abby's
So-
gonna.
Abby, send me an email.
Yeah.
An email with whatever email we want to use for the gift certificate.
Right, then Corin will send it to
Yeah.
me.
And then
And
we'll
then I
hook you
will
up
make
with
it
your gift
happen.
certificate for Gina K Designs, and she has tons of stuff. You don't
I
have to
think
just
so.
get watercolored stuff, but
Anything from Gina's store is amazing.
oh yeah.
And then also want everybody to make sure that they remember to comment in the comment section
Yeah.
of the actual video, because just because you didn't win tonight doesn't mean
There's
you won't
another
win.
chance in the
and there's
comment
another
section.
chance
So
next week.
in a week, so today is the 19th.
19th.
So in 7 days, I'll pick a winner. If I don't forget, sometimes I forget. Everyone in the live chat will know. My procrastinators know I forget sometimes.
Procrastination.
Yeah, in procrastinate. I do there's a monthly giveaway going on right now in procrastination. If you're interested, it's my Facebook group, spelled with a K. So maybe Tim can pop that in the live chat.
Oh man, bro.
So that you can find it better. But there's a giveaway for some Ranger Letterite supplies going on in there. So you can check that out. I've made them all tell me if they could go to a deserted island, if they were on their way to a deserted island, what 3 crafty things
boy.
are you taking with you?
Oh, and I'll be
You wanna
honest with you.
answer?
This is another one of those things where
You should read the answers in procrastination because there are some funny people.
and what's it's really good because a lot of them are really well thought out.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm a big fan of critical thinking, so
I
I
don't
love these
care
little
about
exercises. And these
love
people
that.
are like showing up, and I'm not a member, so it's just her reading them to me, right? So like, I'm not even a member of her Facebook group. But she's reading them to me, and I'm like, oh, it's brilliant. You know, some of these people are really, they're having so
I
much
don't
fun
care
with it.
about rules. Like, even if I
Nah.
set forth rules, you can break them.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
So they're breaking rules and just having a good time over there. So it's fun.
Yeah, it's
Love
a
that.
lot of fun.
Love that.
So the Craft Cast is actually going to be on August 9th. I'm going to have my friend Tiffany. She's a childhood friend actually come over, and she's going to teach us how to make beach tumblers. She's making the tumblers.
That's a big thing.
Oh yeah,
now.
and she shared it on
The
Facebook, and I was
glitter
like,
and the
"Hey,
color.
you want to share?
Yeah.
you can come hang out with us and share it on YouTube." So she's
That's
gonna
really
come hang
fun.
out with us and teach us how to make beachy style tumblers.
Love that. Tons of
So
fun.
August
Yeah.
9th. We had to pull it back because we're going on vacation and she's going on vacation, so it was a little bit off of the weeks. You'll get
So
over it,
you guys are just gonna have to see us
Yeah.
a little bit
sooner.
sooner than.
And that's it. We're done,
Are we?
I guess.
Well, I'm so grateful
Thank you for coming.
to be here.
I'm so happy
so grateful
to
you
have
invited
another
me.
human in my.
I know. I'm so grateful to have had some creative time where I'm not like teaching through the camera, which I
Yeah.
am to everyone today. But
Sort of. I'm here. Tim's here.
Yeah. So, and don't
For what
forget,
it's worth.
if you don't already know, Gina goes live 3
Oh, yeah.
nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in the Facebook group. And holy smokes, she creates she has so many wonderful things
yeah.
to share. And if you
Tons of
really are feeling
inspiration.
low on energy or inspiration, really just take the time to watch her 1 hour show.
And it's fun in the chat too, because just
so much
like
fun in the
here,
chat.
everyone's
Yeah.
having a good time in the chat section, not even always paying attention to what Gina's doing.
She just is a bright light, and she just brings a lot of great energy to our
Absolutely.
industry, and it just, again, rewires your brain for joy.
Yay!
So,
Well,
So-
I just
thank you so much.
thank you for coming, Lisa. It was
Oh,
it was
thank
great.
you.
And
She made my whole day just being here. It
and
did.
everybody at home, go outside.
Yes.
Get out of your house.
feet in the grass.
Go outside. It's green. There's sun. There's clouds. There's all kinds of great stuff. Get the hell out of your house.
That's right.
Please.
Go
Do it for me. Go outside.
Go outside.
And get some vitamin D.
Love it. Oh,
We'll just leave with the chant. Go outside.
Go outside.
Go
outside.
go outside.
Later.
Peace,
Bye,
guys.
everyone. Thank you.